Hey everybody, from MoneyShow in San Francisco, I'm Kate Stalter, joined today by my friend Amy Smith. So happy to have Amy here. Amy, you are one of the national spokespeople. I don't even know your title. I know you were the Investors Business Daily.
I've had so many different titles. I work with meetups, and I'm a national speaker, and I love helping investors. And so, yeah, I'm market commentator, video commentator, workshop commentator. I'm just an all-around. I love the market.
And you talk about the market really well, really clearly, concisely. So talk about CanSlim, and let's just run through the letters. I wanted to do that. What do you stand for?
Sounds like an odd diet thing. I can slim, but what it is, as opposed to value investing, we're looking for growth stocks. So the C is quarterly earnings, the A is annual earnings, the N is new product or new service, and then we go into the slim part of it. S is supply and demand. Do all of us want to buy a product or service? L is you want to buy a leader. We don't want to buy a laggard stock. And then the I is institutional sponsorship. We have to have professional money coming in. And then the final thing is the market, because we know that 3 out of 4 stocks follow the general trend. So that, in a nutshell, is CanSlim investing. It basically looks for stocks that have major quarterly earnings, that have major annual earnings. Somebody's producing a widget or something that all of us want to buy, or a service that all of us want to use.
What's the biggest challenge you find when people are trying to implement this system?
Discipline, sticking to it, expecting results too quickly. You know, I want to make 1,000% this year. Amy, how much do you think if I, how much can I make this year? And not really sticking to some really simple rules. Simple rules, keeping your losses small. You know, if you dig a hole, try to get out of the hole. It's very hard. So you want to keep your losses small. I think the other thing is you have to pick some sort of formula. You can't do value one week, growth stocks the next week. Jumping off, in a lot of different books that talk about the market wizards, the people that have made the most money in the market, whether you're a commodities trader, whatever it is that you do, you have to stick with one set of rules. You just have to have a rule book that you follow. And it doesn't have to be onerous, and it doesn't have to be complicated.
Right. I remember, because I worked at Investors Business Daily for about 10 years myself, which is why I'm so familiar with this.
I'm the reason why I have the job now, is because of Kate.
That's so funny. One of the things that I always found as a challenge was this idea of taking your emotions out of your investing. And there's this idea, some people used to say this, like, act like a robot. That's not realistic.
No, it's not.
You have to acknowledge the fear.
Yes, you do.
Acknowledge the nervousness.
Yes, you do.
How do you do that? What are some behavioral tips?
Well, I think if I think about something, all of us look for a bargain typically. I like coupons. I want to buy a car at a bargain. I'm not going to go pay the most that I can for a car. With investing, it's a little bit different. And if you, in order to take the fear out of it, if I'm buying the best merchandise that I can find possible, I'm going to buy the Rolls Royce. I don't have to be as afraid of keeping my rules. If I set my rules, I want huge earnings. I don't want so-so earnings. I want huge earnings. I want the product that everybody's in big demand. And we have to learn to read a little bit about chart reading. If we don't learn about chart reading, we're not going to find the stocks. You don't want a stock that's kind of going like this. And sometimes I'll have people come up and say, but it looks like it's such a bargain now. Look, it's gone down so much. And I said, you know what? It can go down more. So the way you take the emotions out of it, for me, when everybody is, I said, okay, buy the best merchandise. If you buy the best, now I don't have to be afraid. Kate, I hope it's going to go up. I hope so. You don't have to hope. You shouldn't live on hopium. We have to live on certain certainties.
Now, you mentioned a moment ago the need to understand chart reading. That intimidates a lot of people, doesn't it? How do you get over that?
When I first looked at charts, I thought, oh no, I'm never going to learn this. In simplicity, you want a stock to be rising, okay, not falling. There are some very simple, Nicholas Darvis talked about the Darvis box. With CanSlim investing, we talk about certain base patterns, the cup with handle, the flat base, things like that. Just learning to interpret, it's almost like if you were a doctor looking at an x-ray, which is what our founder Bill O'Neill used to say. You have to learn to interpret the x-ray. Do you have a broken arm, or do you have an arm that looks pretty good? So when we look at a chart pattern, it tells us the health of the overall stock. Is there tight trading? Is there accumulation? Is there professional buying that's coming into it? And if you learn to interpret charts well, trust me, your results in the market will be better. They'll be much, much better. So I would say I would encourage people to learn it. It's really doesn't have to be onerous. It doesn't have to be that difficult.
Where can people get started? I know that Bill has written a lot of books. You've written some books. I mean, there's resources online. What's the best way to jump in and start learning this?
Well, we have a lot of free resources on investors.com. People can go look at that. Or I did write the book, How to Make Money in Stocks Success Stories. You can go take a look at that. And I have simple chart patterns in there. I'll tell you another thing. Here's the interesting thing. A chart from 1880, Tennessee Coal and Iron, is the same as Apple 2004, is the same as some of the stocks that broke out earlier this year. So the easy way to get going, investors.com, read a good book, read Bill's book, How to Make Money in Stocks. Anywhere you can get, some chart reading. We have videos. We have a lot of shows that I did with Matt Galgani that are online. How to Make Money in Stocks with Investors Business Daily. You can download those on iTunes. So I would definitely say read some charts.
And thank you so much, Amy. There
You're
are
welcome.
definitely some timeless investment principles, and it's worth reviewing some history, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, definitely.
And we've done this together.
Yeah, absolutely. So go back, read the charts, read the books. Thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks everybody for watching.